Happy New Year, recorders. Welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Steven, and well, today I'm going to be counting down my top 10 moments of 2021 for me. Let's get started, and it's recording time! Number 10, my independence from my family. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, basically, at the beginning of the year, my dad told me that he was going to be going back to Mexico, like something that he's been wanting to do for a long time. And I don't blame him. I mean, he came to this country thinking that, oh, he was going to be able to be successful enough. And, well, it didn't go the right way that he expected to. And then he ended up meeting my mom. He had my sister and then me. And then, like my dad, he had plans to how he wanted, like, me and my sister to grow up and be. Like, he wanted us to be educated and go to college. And, well, I managed to go to college, graduate, and he felt like that was like, it was time for him to go back to Mexico because things for him were not going so well. And my dad, like I have mentioned this before, that he's not really proud of what I major in. Like, he expected me to be a doctor, an engineer, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not an engineer. Like, those are really great jobs, and who am I to say that those are not really good jobs? I mean, especially, like, I live in San Jose, where it's like the capital of, the tech world. Like, if you want to, like, it's a great place to live in if you're going to be an engineer, but I'm not an engineer, Dad. I am not a doctor. I'm none of those. Sometimes I don't even know what to call myself, like, what I want to do for a career. Like, I know that I do this channel, I do press at Comic Cons, but I feel like it doesn't exactly define, like, what I'm trying to do as a career. It's like, it's never been easy for him to, like, explain what I do to, people that he knows, because, like, my dad was a carpenter. He, like, goes to all these big houses, see all these, like, successful people that are, doctors or engineers, and how their kids are trying to pursue that, and he thinks that in life you just have to have, like, a high-paying job just to be happy. I mean, sure, money is great, but that doesn't mean that's the only way to be happy, and, like, working a job that you don't want to work. A lot of issues with my older sister, to the point where I just wanted to disown her. Like, I wanted nothing to do with her, especially how, like, I admit I may have not been the best brother to her, but based on how she is to me, it's like, that's it. I have finally had it. I don't need, like, your help or anything. And especially how she lost her car, and then she was calling me for help. And then, like, the whole turning point of this is where she ended up bringing some guy from Mexico, and this guy was supposed to stay at our house for just a couple of weeks, and then out of nowhere they're saying that they're getting married. And it's like what? I mean, no engagement, nothing. Like, they were literally in our driveway. And before my dad went to Mexico, he witnessed the thing, and he literally had his phone out, which had a priest there on Zoom, and that's it. Like, that's how they got married, in our driveway. That was it. Like, no wedding, no reception, none of that. It's like, is my sister, like, not embarrassed what she did? Like, because of it, I want nothing to do. I do not accept this guy into my family whatsoever. This whole experience between my dad and my older sister, it inspires me. Like, if I'm ever lucky to start my own family anytime soon, I want to do better than them. Like, I'll have a real wedding. I'll be there for my kids. Like, I'm not saying that my dad wasn't there for me. Like, he was, like, in and out of my life while I was growing up, and he, like, always assumes that, oh, he supported me my whole life, which is not exactly true. It was my mom. I mean, my mom was the one that gave me a home, which is something my dad never really did. I mean, he and my mom just split up just like that, and my mom, like, I may have not always talked about how my mom, like, struggled to raise me and my older sister, and then she would keep meeting new guys. And sure, she met one guy that she settled down with for almost 20 years, and that had a couple more kids with him. And, like, yeah, I'm, like, I'm mostly thankful for my mom that, in a way, show me what it really means to hustle. Number 9, my new car, which, now, this is not exactly my first ever car that I own. Like, here's the thing about, for me, owning a car. Like, the first 2 cars that I drove, like, the first one was a Mitsubishi. Like, I forgot what the name of the model was. Basically, my dad was the one that got me my first car, and he bought this car from someone, like, for $50. He, like, was telling me that, hey, I got you a car. I'm driving your new car. And it's like, what did you get me? And then I saw this car, and it looked cool. But the thing is, that car was from 1995. I mean, that car was not going to last me very long. I mean, I only had it for barely less than a year, because the last person that drove that car was my idiot older sister. Like, she took it on some camping trip with her class. And then when she came back with the car, it was, like, making this weird sound with the engine. Like, it was so bad. That was it. The car was done. And it's like, fuck! Car number 2 was the smart car, which I admit, when I used to see those cars, I would, like, kind of make fun of them, because you look at them, they're, like, so tiny, and it's just like, what kind of person would drive that? But no, my dad bought one. He told me that he just bought it off of someone for, like, $3,000, and I didn't exactly, like, inherit it, like, right away. Like, he eventually let me have it, which would be my primary car. And I admit, as fun as that car looked like, I mean, it was able to drive really fast and like only costed like $20 to fill up. But every now and then I'll just get a little embarrassed driving this car, especially people looking at me and kids and all talking shit, like saying, fuck the smart car and all this like shit. It's like, it's like, why am I driving this car? I mean, there are people that I knew that were driving better cars to me. And then this eventually led to the moment where my dad did leave to Mexico, like back in February, where I got my tax return. Like I got over $2,000, as well as the third stimulus check, which all of that I used it as a down payment for my new car. And it's like, to me, it felt so good to finally own a car that was not old. Like my car is 2020 and it only had like a few thousand miles on it, and this made me like feel like I finally grew like independent and not having to like listen to what my dad or what use whatever it gives me, because him and his like all these opinions he has about cars, saying that, ooh, why you gotta pay so much? You're gonna the insurance and all that shit. Like, I get where he's coming from, but this is my choice, not yours. Number 8, the room that I'm in. Like, oh my god, like just having this streaming room, like the space that I'm renting, it's like I am so glad that I have my own workspace. Like, sure, it's not like a lot and I could use more space, but I'm just very thankful just to have this room. Like that, just having this room is a major improvement for me, especially for the content that I create at home. And this is like a really good sign that I'm like advancing forward. I mean, if you look back at some of my older videos where I'm in my bedroom and it looked kind of embarrassing, and you see all like my Funko Pops and all that shit, which I don't have that in here. Like in this room, it's exactly what I need, and I'm looking forward to whatever bigger space I'm able to get in the next year. Number 7, I stopped eating fast food. Now, I know I've done a few videos talking about that. I have gone a few months without eating fast food and what's the results, which I know like I haven't done any of those videos lately, and some of you are wondering, am I still doing it? Yeah, I still have not had any fast food. No McDonald's, no pizza, no Kentucky Fried Chicken, none of that shit. I have completely stopped. And I know that, then how come I haven't lost any weight? Well, the troubling thing is like the last month and a half, I haven't really been working out. Like I kind of been, laying, like, I don't know what's been going on. It could be like stress or whatever. And I know like throughout December, I was doing like 3 Comic-Cons, and like, it took a huge physical toll at me to the point where I feel like, I don't have the energy to go to the gym. And like, it's not just me. Like a lot of people that I know that had, workout plans, they just like slowly stop because it's the holidays and everyone just wants to like chill out. Like hopefully like when it starts in January, I would get back on the horse and just show you guys my new results, which I'm really looking forward to. And I'm just really proud of myself that I stopped with the fast food, because it was like a really disgusting habit of mine that I've had for like all my life, and I'm glad that I could finally put it behind me. Number 6, meeting D. Bradley Baker, which, oh my god, this like voice actor who I like idolized so much for like almost 15 years, ever since I saw like behind the scenes videos of what he does. And it's like, he inspires me, especially like doing animal voices. Since I've been doing press at Comic-Cons and meeting almost every favorite voice actor of mine, I like knew it would eventually lead to me meeting D, which, after going at it for a few years, I was wondering, does he even do con appearances? Because I have not met him yet. And then when it came to, I heard about this con called Unicon that I was going through the guest list and I saw his name and I was thinking, why would D go to this con out of all cons? And well, I applied for a press pass, got everything set up, and then I head to the con, and the thing is, I barely saw D at his table, and I was thinking, where is he? Where is he? And I was a bit surprised that he didn't have like much of a big line, because I expected his line to be huge. That day, as soon as I finally saw D at his table, I went up and talked to the guy, and I told him how I'm pressed and I've done interviews with numerous voice actors that he knew, and I asked him, hey, can I interview you? And well, he was a little reluctant because how I didn't have a press badge, I had a vendor badge. So that kind of made things a little tricky, and his handler, who seemed to be also his agent or partner or whatever, and they told me to come back the next day to clear things up. I show up the next day, I mentioned the same thing again, and they were respectively declined, all because I didn't have a press badge. It got me very frustrated, not at them, just at the con in general. Like, they should have had a press badge available for me, and that kind of messed up my whole chances to do an in-person interview. But the thing is, looking back at that moment, I'm a little relieved that I didn't say do that in-person interview, because even though I had my research on D, I felt like I didn't want to just wing it anymore. Like, I don't want to wing, doing interviews in person, like just winging it anymore. I don't want to do that. I want to come thoroughly prepared. And it's like, even though I didn't get what I wanted, it's still like a lesson that I really needed.
Hello, recorders. Look who I'm with.
Hey there, Twinkle Toes.
Oh my God. Thank you, Jessie.
Of course.
Number 5, going over to Jessie Flowers' house, which, okay, here's the story on this. Like, on the day before I was gonna go to LA to do some con work, I saw it on Michaela on her Instagram saying that she was having a little yard sale and inviting people over, and I just hit her up saying that, hey, can I come over? I'm gonna be in town. And she gave me the address, and well, after I did some con work, during lunch, I went over to her house. Like, I parked on her street, and I was looking to which one was her house, and I see this one woman laying on a bench, and I was thinking, wait, is that her? And then I was like, and then as I got closer, I see Michaela sitting on the couch, and I was like, oh my God, it's her. And like this was kind of like, I was like very reluctant to go to her house, like to finally meet her in person. Like, I was very reluctant, just like, I didn't want it to be awkward. I didn't want to come off as like a creep or anything like that, but just, it's just a little hard decision. Like, but hey, she said it was okay for me to come over, so I accepted. And then like, I asked her, hey, can I give you a hug or something? And she's like, yeah, sure. And we hugged, which, I go back to the front of the house where I see Michaela sitting on her chair, and then we just sat down and we just talked, and we had like this open, intimate talk. Like, we were like talking to each other, like stuff that was like bothering us. Like, I told her some things that were bothering me, and she told me some things that she was bothering her. And it's like, it was really good to have like that open and intimate talk with her. It's like, I felt like I just needed that day, and I like thanked her so much for doing that and for inviting me over. Very grateful for her for inviting me over, and like that was really the start of our friendship. And then months later, I'll see her again at a Comic-Con, and like it really meant that, like how I've told you guys that almost 2 years ago, I was trying to meet her at SAC Anime and how it didn't work out. Then months later after that, I do an interview with her, and then look to where it led to. Like, I am now friends with my favorite Avatar character, and it's like, this means like everything to me, and this is just so amazing, and it's like a blessing, and I will never take her for granted. I will never, ever take her for granted. Number 4, concluding my saga with Shawn, Chimo, and Chris Sabat. First of all, I have no ill towards these two men. Like, I have no beef. Like, I know, like, I've done videos that make it assume that I have personal grudges against them or whatever, but I really don't. Like, I'm sorry if I've gone, like, exaggerated or gone over the top, but, that was, like, the younger me. Like, the first time I met Shawn Chimo, it was 2018. Like, I was fresh out of college. I found out that he was coming to my hometown for a con, and I was, like, very excited to meet the guy who's, like, from my favorite, anime growing up, Dragon Ball Z. Like, it's, like, one of my top favorite animes of all time, and it was like, it meant a lot to me that I was finally meeting the man who brings life into Goku. Oh, I mentioned that, I asked him for an interview. He told me to come back the next day. I admit, like, I wish I didn't do that whole, where I had my camera and asked him, we do the Kamehameha, and he went like this, no. Like, I wish I didn't do that. Like, I was just, young and naive at the time, and then I asked him about the interview, and he told me this, it is not within my schedule to do interviews. And I was like, huh? And like, he told me like, yeah, Funimation wants him to hold off on the interviews until it's time to do the Broly movie. And I asked him, hey, how about we just talk about other stuff than the Broly movie? And he was like, nah. Like, I did not really take it personal with him, like, declining me. Like I said, I was like young and inexperienced at the time. And now that I'm much, I've been at this like 3 years since then that, I've grown as a, as a press goer, what I do for my work, and have a better understanding that when, actors, they can't talk about projects or don't want to be interviewed. Like, I have a much better understanding of it today than I did back then. And, like, how especially the week after that is when I would meet Chris Sabat. And, like, if I tried to set up an interview with him, the similar process would have happened with him, like I did with Shawn. Months after that, I will see Shawn again at SAC Anime, where this infamous moment happened.
Are you familiar with the Dragon Ball Z abridged by Team 4 Star? Oh, sorry.
Do you have another question? Let me be really frank. The reason I answer questions like that is because Toei does not support that, and Toei and Funimation doesn't, and it's not really very legal.
Shawn's opinion of Team 4 Star, like, who would have thought that video would end up blowing up? And here's the reason why I think that video blew up in the first place. Like, right around the time when the Vic Mignogna situation happened, that's where basically anyone that had videos about Shawn, they just blew up. Like, as I started seeing that video, like the views skyrocketing, I was like, whoa, what the hell's going on? Like, I had a viral hit. Like, I never thought I would have that at my channel. At the time, I had like 2,000 subscribers, and I was getting more subscribers. I was getting like all this kind of views. Like, it made me happy. Like, I finally feel like that. I finally know how to be, like, not saying successful, but just, you know, like what I'm gonna be getting myself into. And over time, I saw that video growing and growing, and like how people, like, I was starting to think, how would Shawn react to this? That I have this video of him that has 1 million views. Like, what's he gonna do? Like, oh my god, how would he react to that? Came in the beginning of this year, 2021, where I was doing this chat with Chris Savin, and I asked him, how's Schimmel doing?
Interesting year, business-wise and personally and health-wise and just all sorts of weird stuff.
By the way, how's Schimmel doing?
Yeah, Schimmel's good. Have you caught him on the internet?
Yeah, he's been streaming on Twitch and something about his opinion of Team 4-Star.
Oh my gosh, he's such an interesting dude. I've been telling him for 10 years now, like, dude, you were made for streaming. You need to do live streaming because the guy has like so much energy and so many opinions.
After that, Chris actually came to Sacramento for a signing, and I went up to talk to him, and I guess he didn't like knew who it was me because I was wearing a mask and all that shit, so I wouldn't expect him to like remember me right away. And then we talked, and I told him about, you know, his opinion about Team 4-Star. Like, I literally say that same phrase, are you familiar with the Dragon Ball Z abridged by Team 4-Star? And Chris said this, well, of course, there's no one in the Dragon Ball Z community that isn't aware of Team 4-Star. And I told him about how Shawn feels about that, and he said like, oh yeah, I saw some video about his opinion about it, and he admits he laughed about it because like Shawn's like incorrect about how fair use works, but he does have a point about the business side of things. 8 months after that, Shawn would actually come to Los Baños for an autograph signing, and I go up to, you know, to the thing, and this would be like the first time I'd be seeing him in like since I last saw him in, you know, 2018. Signing, then when it was my turn to get my autograph from him, he took a look at me and he's like, hey, it's you, I remember you. It's like, you remember me? It's been like 3 years. Like, I didn't expect him to like remember me at all. So I had him sign a little personal print, and he just autographed it, and he was a little reluctant to sign it because how it has a picture of Big Mignata on it, and I was like, hey, it also has a Chris and a Dan Green. And when he saw Dan Green, he was like, wow, he looked a little impressed that I talked to him because he told me that, yeah, he's been inclusive over the last 10 years. After that, once again, back at Sac Anime, I see Shawn again, and he remembers it's me, and this time I had him sign a Funko Pop, even though it wasn't for me. It was like for someone else. And then when we did our photo op, he said, hey, let's just do the father-son Kamehameha. And it got me thinking, is this it? Have I finally like had closure with Shawn? Like, now that we've done the father-son Kamehameha, it's like, is it time for me to bury the hatchet with him? Even though, like, I had no real beef with them, but to me, that was like a sign. That's it. The story's over between us. I saw a video of a panel he did that day where someone asked him about Dragon Ball Z Abridged again, and this time, like, Shawn, he went into more depth, and he also talked about how, you know, he's not a fan of how people try to ask him controversial stuff and how to use his panel to make YouTube videos, like, and to make money off of him. It's like, well, Shawn, I'm not trying to, like, you know, do that, like, because, you know, I'm a press goer. As long as I have the clearance to record panels, like, it shouldn't be like a major problem or anything like that. Like, I understand that he's frustrated, and he mentioned that it makes him want to throw up, that people are trying to take advantage of him, which that is not my intention, Shawn. Like, I never intended it to go this far, and it's like, it's not really me that does those kind of videos he's talking about. It's more like other people that like, you know, like if, like, I remember I was watching one of Shawn's Twitch streams, and how as soon as someone mentioned Big Mignata, and then Shawn, he like started having this attitude, and if someone like, you know, screen recorded his stream and put it on YouTube to make him look bad, that's like what Shawn's referring to. Like me, I wouldn't do that to him. Final moment comes in December where I'm at Anime Pasadena that has both Shawn and Chris. Like, this is like the first time I've ever seen the two of them together in the same room, because I met them both like separately. Like, this was it. This was like the finale of my closure with these two guys, and how, well, because they had a busy line and I was like doing press that day, so I didn't have a chance to like talk to them. Like it would have been cool for me to get like a photo with the two of them, like if I could have, that way to finally symbolize that, yeah, it's finally over. Like, my original saga with these two is over. It's done. Like, what's next? Well, I like to assume I'm in the GT or the Boo version or the Kai version or the Super. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen between me and these two. Like, hopefully I could do a proper full interview with the two of them, like especially how we're having another Dragon Ball Super movie coming around the corner, which who knows what the future has in store with me with these two. Like, I just don't want to create drama or beef with them. I just like to establish a friendship or a professional working relationship with those two. Like, I know that everyone has their views of how they think of them because of the whole Vic Mignogna situation, the Funimation leak recordings, or whatever like issues you have with them. Like, don't take it out on me just because I'm trying to build like a friendship. I mean, I don't want to create any drama. I want to create peace. Number 3, my partner Jamie, which Number 2, my con comeback, which, oh my god, the moment I've been waiting for. Basically, back in 2019, where I felt like I had my best con year. Like, I was finally doing cons outside of California. I was going to Texas. I was going to Florida, and I was thinking, oh my god, I can't wait to do it all over again in 2020. Like, I did a few cons, but the downer thing is that's when COVID started and everything started shutting down. All the Comic Cons were canceling, being postponed. I was thinking, damn, what the hell am I gonna do? Like, how long is this gonna be? Am I ever gonna even do another con? And that brought out the worst side of me, where I was doing a bunch of random videos just to keep my views up, just like, and all that shit. Like, it brought out the worst side of me because I was desperate. Eventually, passed for time, I, applied for a job. I thought it was going to be a part-time job, but then ended up going a full-time job, which was, I'm internally grateful. I was able to get my income again, and I was able to, get my shit together. Like, I was a huge mess the first few months of COVID. Like, I was in the worst state of my life. Like, it brought out the worst of me. Like, I felt like I wasn't bringing my A game. It really was the worst time for me. Like, I was thankful for the job that I had. Like, it started helping me build the income and just, eventually getting like everything that I just felt like I mentioned throughout this whole video. Like, it was like just what I needed. And like, I knew that as soon as I was to start doing cons again, I would come back stronger than before. The vaccine came out, it seemed that everything was starting to open up again, and like as soon as I had an opportunity to do a con, I went for it, which I did. I did Simi Valley Comic Con. Special shout out to Lawrence Thorne and Scott Zummer for bringing me back. Like, this was the beginning of it, and then later it would lead to Silicon with Adam Savage, and then it led to Stockton Con, Sac Anime, then Unicon, and basically I was going all over the place. Like, I was very happy to travel to Las Vegas. Like, I felt like I was stuck in California for so long, I had to get out of there. And all of this led to my most ambitious, con trip, where I went to LA 3 times for LA Comic Con, Anime Pasadena, Comic Con Revolution. Like, I never did that before, while I was going to LA 3 times, going on a plane, driving, a plane again. Like, I was so excited. I felt like this is it. I am back. I am back, baby. This is what I've been wanting to for so long. Like, I was very happy, and this was just something I've been waiting for, and like made me say, like, I'm here to stay, and I can't wait to see what more opportunities will bring for me. Now on to number 1. The best moment for me of 2021 was meeting Dan Green. Oh my god, Dan, it's like, wow, I can't believe I'm meeting you. I am not worthy.
You're totally worthy. I can't believe I'm meeting you.
Like, why does this top everything? Well, there's a lot of significance to me, meeting Dan Green and talking to him. Like, he's like someone I've always wanted to get. And ever since early on when I started doing, press at Comic Cons and meeting all my favorite anime voice actors, like, I knew it would eventually lead to meeting him. But one of the things about Dan is that, well, like, he lost his wife. Like, she died when she was giving birth to their twins. And yeah, it brought Dan, like, in a very depressing state of his life, and how, he's been, like, just keeping it down low for, like, almost a decade. Thank you so much for being a part of my childhood and all of us, and we commend you for your courage for raising your children. It's not the easiest thing. Thank you,
Steven. You too. Thank you.
I mentioned how my older sister had this friend named Julio who would make fun of me for, like, well, liking Yu-Gi-Oh! And basically any nerdy thing. And, well, Julio, this is a big fuck you to you. Final note of the significance of meeting Dan, it's like, it says that, everyone that talks shit about me, put me down, or tell me, ooh, I can't do this, I suck at this. Well, just being able to talk to the guy is a big fuck you to all those people. Like, I'm gonna keep going at it. I am never going to stop. As long as I'm able to do what I'm doing, I am never gonna stop. Nothing's gonna get in my way. Thank you for tuning in, recorders. Please hit that subscribe button, comment down below your moments of 2021. I would love to hear them, and please give me a like, and remember, I'm on Cameo if you like a special shout out from me, and catch you next time.